Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers showcase video. In today's video, we're looking at another mining ship, and this one is called the Atlas V Ion Space Miner Mk3, which is this lovely thing right here. So this is a small block mining ship that features only ion thrusters, and it does have a very sleek and very compact design with everything set up to work straight out the box. And I totally didn't just choose this because I saw the hazard strips on the side matched perfectly the cargo container's yellow, like that. But anyway, coming back around to here and pressing F10 and finding it in the spawn menu, the Atlas V, there it is 687 small blocks using the Sparks of the Future DLC packs, which you can see is the ion thrusters. It uses no mods and it has no scripts, and you can see all the information about it written on the Steam Workshop page. So we'll give this a thumbs up, we'll move all the way around to the very front, we'll have a quick look around the outside, and then we'll test it out against one of these asteroids that is sitting right around me. So at the very front here, this is what we get. We've got a standard cockpit to drive this thing around, and that's been surrounded by our Sparks of the Future ion thrusters. Surrounding that, we've got 5 drills evenly spaced out to allow the vehicle to drive straight through an asteroid with enough clearance around the vehicle that it doesn't get damaged. And we also have 2 spotlights there just to help in the darkness when we are drilling deep into an asteroid. As we were to move around the side here on this side, we got ourselves an antenna to make sure we can always find this thing, and of course to display any kind of ore from our ore detector. And as we move around onto the side here, these are our cargo containers with our hazard strips on the top and the bottom, just some additional decoration. And we've got plenty of ion thrusters just to help us maneuver around when we're nice and heavy, full of resources. And towards the back there, we've got one of 3 ejectors to get rid of any kind of unwanted stone, and it's very well done because it has enough clearance away from the vehicle to allow you to reverse out of a hole without getting jammed in there and stuck. But if we come all the way around to the very back here, this is what's going to push us around, and this is one of 2 docking connectors. So here are all of our thrusters, we can see our sorters going across to our ejectors, and we've got some lovely grey blocks using the digital camouflage skin. Or at least I think that's a digital camouflage. Yes it is. Anyway, if you were to move down and underneath, this is going to be where our other ejector is sitting, and where our other connector is also sitting. We've got even more ion thrusters. We can see our batteries, which is our primary way of powering this vehicle. It does have a reactor in case you do need it. And of course, if you want to power recharge the batteries when you're away from a base, that's entirely up to you if you use it. Yes, we've got another light there. That's our ejector. And there's our connector to dock up to a station. There's some more ion thrusters and the bottom of our drills at the front. If you were to come all the way up and above here, we'll look down at the cockpit, then move towards the back. We've got a couple unfinished blocks for some additional decoration. There's some more digital camouflage skin along with some battered armor blocks just to break it all up. More ion thrusters going along the top, and we can see part of our hazard strip on the side. Yes, towards the back there, not too much else to talk about, just a nice lot of steel blocks covering up the tops of our containers, just in case you do get a bit rough while mining. And that is a very brief look around the outside of the Atlas V Ion Space Miner. It does look fantastic with how it's all been set up, extremely compact with everything going on with there, and there is a nice lot of containers attached onto this to make sure you can spend a long time mining and connecting up all the resources you need. So what I'll do now is just grab hold of my character, we'll come over to tab number 1, we'll go through it and see what it has to offer. So number 1 on our hotbar is to use our drills, left mouse to collect and right mouse to make a gigantic hole. Number 2 is going to be to switch off all of our thrusters around the ship, so there we go, all of them have turned off. And number 3 is going to be for our cruise control, where we simply turn off the ones at the front. So doing that and then moving forwards, letting go of the keyboard, we'll then move at a constant rate towards our destination. Number 4 and number 5 is for our connectors at the back and the bottom, and number 6 is to turn on and off our ejectors, which are currently set up for stone. Number 7 is for our ore detectors on and off. Number 8 is for our exterior lights all the way around the ship, so there we go. And number 9 is for our spotlights at the front, on and off. On tab number 2, we then got our gyroscopes to increase and decrease their power. Number 3 is for our reactor on and off, and like I said, you don't really have to use this, you can rely on your battery power if you want to. Number 4 is for our beacon on and off, and number 5 is for our antenna on and off, which is the one sitting on the side. Tab number 3, 4 and 5 is empty, so now what we can do is a very quick thruster test, then we'll go do some mining, then we'll do another thruster test to see how it handles when it's full up. So moving forwards, this is what we get. We've got some surprising amount of speed coming out of all those small little thrusters. It does take quite some time to get to 100 meters per second, but it's not too bad for what this ship is designed for. Coming to a stop, we are roughly the same, which is very good to see. Overall, this ship does seem to have a very good distribution around it, where it's very even. Yes, moving left. There we go, we're about the same. Moving right. Then moving down. And then moving up. Like I said, is about the same all the way around this ship. And with the default power settings on the gyroscope, this is what we get. We've got a nice lot of control with a tiny bit of weight on there, so it does drag a little bit, but it's generally what I prefer to when it comes to a ship. And there we go with that. So what I'm going to do is bring up the HUD, like so, and we're going to come across onto one of these asteroids. One of these asteroids does have some resources on, but I don't think it's this one. So hopefully I'll be proven wrong by the ore detector. And here we go, I found some ice all the way up here, which is very nice to see when you're in space and using hydrogen thrusters. But luckily, we don't have to worry about that. So I'm simply going to collect this up until we're completely full. I've turned off the ejectors, so if you do collect up stone, it's not going to get ejected out. So I want this to be nice and heavy. Here we go all the way forwards, and I do love the particle effects coming off all the ice. And here we go, I do believe we are completely full up, and I've made some great use out of the cruise control button to simply just hold down the mouse click and just let the ship move forwards very, very slowly at 0.14 meters per second. So now what I'm going to do is just turn on those thrusters and start to reverse all the way out. There we go, we can go out nice and slowly. And that is the hole we made. Very nice stuff, you can see the shape that the drills make, and it's perfect clearance for the ship to go all the way through. Just coming into the I menu and hiding all the empty stuff, these are our cargo containers that we get. So we've got our cockpit, and then we've got our connectors, and of course our cargo containers and drills storing everything inside themselves. And with that all done, we can now do a thruster test to see how this thing changes. So moving forwards, this is what we get. We are one hell of a lot slower going forwards, and stopping as well, of course, is going to be the same all the way around. If I was to move my mouse and to turn it all the way around, one hell of a lot of weight compared to what we had before, which is very nice that we have these controls set to 50%, so we can turn this up and get a lot better controls overall. Still not as good as it was while it was empty, but darn sight better than what it was when it was at 50%. But that is basically it for the Atoms 5 Ion Space Miner. It's a very nice mining ship if you are looking for something small and compact to use in survival mode. It's got everything you need to basically mine for a very long time, and the ion thrusters shouldn't be too much of an issue to build if you are at this stage in the game. So there'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around with it yourself. I highly recommend you do. And as we cruise along towards this asteroid in the distance, I will just activate the ejectors so we can see how it ejects out all these stone. So get them out the side, and then we get them out the bottom, which is a very nice way of handling the ejectors. So here we go, we're going along at about 40 meters per second towards this asteroid. I don't think we're going to get any damage done whatsoever. We're simply going to bounce away from this. But here we go. And there we go. We lost one drill at the top there, and we just made a gigantic rock fall down towards the asteroid. Anyway, yes, thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.